Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
Do you want to hear a story? I'm not letting go.
Are you ready for this?
Follow your heart.
I'm going in.
This is
Blockbuster Smash Up.
Welcome to another episode of Blockbuster Smash Up. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and as each episode, I'll be joined by my co-host, Todd G. Levin, and our special guests as we try to smash one globally accepted good film and one globally accepted bad film into one hopefully cohesive new film for you guys. With that said, let's dive in and meet our guests. All right, Todd, please introduce our wonderful, never-before-heard-from guests.
Back with us for the second time, our first repeat guests.
What?
Hey. Anna Marie and Casey.
I didn't know that.
Guys, you made the all-star team.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
We
you
like
do
these
not want to
guys.
know what we did to the other guests.
We like these guys so much that we brought them back. Of course, this is Anna Marie Davidson,
Hi.
the YA novelist and all-around great person.
Thank you, Todd. That's lovely.
And Casey Leventhal, my very good friend, bartender.
Hello.
And really cool
Race
guy.
car extraordinaire.
Rasputin enthusiast.
Yeah, Rasputin enthusiast.
Well, that could describe me as well.
I do come from Rasputin enthusiast family.
I thought you were going to say I come from a Rasputin bloodline, which
long
would have
line
been...
of Rasputin.
God, that would have been amazing.
You found me
make
out,
that a
guys. Here I
Wikipedia
am.
thing?
Yeah, actually, anyone
Hiding
want to
in
start a
West-
Casey
You got me.
Leventhal Wikipedia page?
Wikipedia, he comes from
He
Rasputin's
comes from
bloodline.
Rasputin's bloodline.
One of the last surviving members of Rasputin.
Wow.
So anyways,
Any kids listening to this doing a book report on Rasputin, just throw that in there right
Just
now.
throw
Absolutely.
Casey Levin. That's
Current living ancestor Rasputin.
Casey.
And
Yeah.
since you can't
bartending
see
in
this,
1886
it's
Pasadena.
uncanny, the resemblance.
The
Family
beard, the amount of
resemblance.
rings that you wear, it's... I mean,
Yeah, I can't believe we never saw it before, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You're a
strange.
spitting
Even
image.
the robes.
I just
mean,
thought you were a hipster, but clearly you're
And your girlfriend Anastasia, like, I mean, it's how come we didn't see
Yeah,
this
how did we not put these pieces together?
Yeah.
Wait, are you
Wow.
actually Rasputin? Hold on a second.
because he never really died.
Yeah, we actually... Oh my god, wait a second. Can you confirm or deny? Did Rasputin come from Canada originally? I'm just
Drop
asking
the
everybody
accent,
historically.
Casey. Drop the accent.
you are all going to die.
Yes! I was hoping he was going to attempt a Russian accent. Not attempt, I mean perfect,
yes.
because he
Legend.
is actually Russian. So, we always kick off the top of our podcast with some personal questions, because
Yes.
we like to furry them away. Furry them, that's the correct term.
Furry, yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
Forage?
Something that
Or-
makes you uncomfortable to look at, a
Yeah.
sexual thing that
Something
makes you
with an
uncomfortable.
F. Something
Yeah.
with an F.
We
Fuck
like to
off.
F
Most of the
something
words
away.
that start with an F are not going to fly. I'm just going to say that
They're
right
gonna fly. Well,
now.
fly works. We like to fly it away.
Yeah.
Cool.
Todd, what is the personal question?
So, because Christmas is around the corner, it's this week. Basically, what's your favorite holiday movie, or the movie that is sort of the holidays wouldn't be the same without?
I'm going to think about it, so I'm going to turn this
Ooh,
over.
okay.
I have
Rasputin, what's your answer?
I have a movie, but more so one of the Christmas shows. Does that count as well?
Sure.
Anything.
Sure.
Anything goes.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
For me is like every year we watch it. My mother is a huge Peanuts fan, and every year
The food and also the show?
no, just the show.
Okay. good,
Legumes
unfortunately.
and cartoons.
Yeah, we all get together around the TV and just like inevitably
Now,
watch.
when you guys get around the TV, do you sit on the floor, cross your legs?
I stay in like the big comfy chair.
Okay.
My mother inevitably like gets like the front middle couch seat, but
Okay.
she inevitably falls asleep in the middle of it. It's only like a 20-minute show.
Do you sit
Yeah.
in chairs, or do you float like Russian occultists?
Yeah.
guys?
You got to admit it now.
guys.
Everyone
just-
wants to know.
Through line.
Okay, how about this?
How do Russian
How about-
occultists
How about
watch
this?
the
I can
Peanuts
just
films?
get this out of the way right now.
Okay.
Everything that you picture about Russian occultists and paranoid American family is true. Okay,
Oh,
so
thank
all of those
God.
things, so we can cover whatever questions.
So you do
have.
file down your horns.
Oh my god.
Does it feel good to get it out there?
It feels
I
good.
said
I mean, we,
it's
liberated.
all true.
I mean, we all deep down felt
So you
really
don't have to
bad
ask the
inside, but it's good
question
to feel
anymore.
validated.
It's all true. It's okay. So whatever question you have,
Man.
the answer is yes.
Well, I'm out.
Yes, it's true.
and your cars are powered by ghosts, right? Okay. good.
Anyway,
We're just
Charlie
getting that out
Brown
there.
Christmas. That's it. I fucking hate you.
And he never came back again.
Yeah, you know.
You guys didn't see this, but he just vanished into the air.
See?
Amazing.
But my favorite holiday movie is Home Alone.
Ooh, that's a
There
great
you go.
one.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway,
Well, this circles back to my last thing because as we all devotees of the show will know, I really like Colin Firth. So Bridget Jones's Diary
Wow.
is the go-to like Christmas movie for
funny.
me.
I thought you were going to say Love Actually because of Colin Firth.
No,
Yeah.
actually, no.
Yeah.
But it's Bridget Jones's Diary.
No.
But I thought about it. Like, I will probably watch Bridget Jones's Diary because I have, like, a need to watch something British every couple of days or I shrivel up and die. But, like, Harry Potter, now that we were talking about it, because it was such a
Ooh.
big part of my, like, Decembers every year as I took my little cousin to it. Like, every year the movies came out, that became, like,
So Harry
the
Potter,
holiday.
you now kind of associate with the
do.
holidays.
That's, like, the first thing that popped in my mind.
The Wizarding World of Christmas.
Indeed. And that
I mean,
makes
there's
sense.
nothing more Christmassy than Wizards. I mean,
I had a very pagan growing up, so I didn't like have a lot of like super holiday.
you guys worshipped a lot of like golden cows, right?
Well, the ones we didn't sacrifice.
Of
yeah.
course.
Yes.
Wow. Very, I mean, and that's a very holiday-ish thing too. I'm
scared.
Indeed.
Definitely don't lose touch with that.
Yeah, I won't.
All right, so those were our personal questions, and that'll take us into our game, Blockbuster Smash Up.
Smash, 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 smash,
Smash, smash, smash,
All right, guys, this is our smash up. This is where we take one globally accepted good film and one globally accepted bad film and smash them together into one hopefully cohesive film that makes sense.
Thank you,
Jay,
Rasputin.
today-
your voice has changed.
I know, it changes sometimes.
Today, I believe it is Todd who has the globally accepted good film, and
This is impressive.
Jay has the globally accepted bad film. So on the count of three,
All right, here we go.
we're going to count it off, and both of you say what film you have chosen.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
1,
1,
2,
3. Mannequin.
Home Alone. Funny enough. You chose Mannequin.
Mannequin.
Oh
I haven't even heard of that.
my.
Okay, Casey, have you haven't seen
Gosh.
Mannequin? Anne-Marie, have you seen Mannequin?
Yes, I have.
Oh boy.
This movie.
Todd, have you seen Mannequin?
Thank you so much for choosing this movie.
Oh, boy.
My heart swells.
So yeah, it's fun. You were saying like you brought up Home Alone earlier, and I was like,
Oh boy.
collar
Now we have to
pull.
do it.
Yeah.
Great,
God,
we're
Home
gonna
Alone.
ruin my favorite holiday movie. Let's do it. So
Charlie
happy I have
Brown
my
walks
beer in my
in.
hands.
This is going to be really cathartic to destroy Home Alone right
Oh
now.
my gosh. So Mannequin.
Oh,
old
okay,
man.
so yeah, I guess I'll go first. To give the summary of Mannequin, by the way, this movie is called Mannequin. So when I start this summary of this film, just remember that this film is called Mannequin. This movie opens on ancient Egypt
Oh god.
with the title card that says, a really long time ago, right before lunch, we meet Kim Cattrall in a mummy costume because apparently, like, the director must have looked at, like, ancient Egypt pictures and saw a bunch of mummies. It was like, yeah, that's probably
A
what...
bunch of blonde white mummies.
A bunch of blonde white mummies, and we're like, that's probably what they all dress like all the time.
Sure.
She prays to the gods of Egypt that she doesn't want to get married to this dung salesman, and they like kill her or disappear. It's not properly explained. Cut to 1980s Philadelphia, where we meet Jonathan, just a struggling artist who is just all kinds of sucks at normal jobs. Like, one of the jobs he has is to build mannequins, which is where this movie kind of kicks off. And, like, they're supposed to build a bunch of mannequins. Like, he takes pieces and arranges them.
Right.
Except, like, he takes a week to build one perfect mannequin. And the boss is like, well, yeah, you're fired. You spent an entire week just putting 3 pieces together. So he's fired.
And he's played by who again?
So this guy is played by Andrew McCarthy.
All right.
And he's terrible at all his jobs. He wants to be very artistic, and that's his problem. He's just so artistic, guys, and people just won't let him be artistic with mannequins. So he runs into the middle of the night in, like, the rain and sees his perfect mannequin in a store, and a lady's, like, about to get crushed by a sign, and he saves her, and she's like, oh, I'll give you a job because you saved me from not getting killed by the sign. So he works in this department store, and sure enough, his perfect mannequin is there, and she comes to life when she's around him.
Pygmalion style.
And, like, only he can see that she's alive. So there's so many of these wacky scenes where he's, like, making out with her in, like, a bathroom, and someone walks in and they're like, what? And it's, like, him with a mannequin or, like, rolling around on the floor with a mannequin. It's Very disturbing. And eventually, he lets his artistic avenue flow and starts creating beautiful window dressing scenes that draws in like a huge crowd in Philadelphia. So their sales are through the roof in the store. And suddenly, the rival evil department store shows up, because of course there's one. And it's like, instead of, doing marketing or something, we're just going to steal Kim Cattrall and all their mannequins. That'll solve
the power of this department store's success.
Yeah, so they steal her, kidnap Kim Cattrall and a bunch of mannequins, and then through wacky 1980s shenanigans involving a fire hose and stereotypical characters, he manages to rescue Kim Cattrall, breaks her from her curse.
Yeah.
Again, not explained. She's just now human. Everyone can see her as human. No one questions it. And they get married in the window dressing of the store. They get married in the window of the store. It's the most insane.
And then he becomes a mannequin, and it's a horror story.
No. It doesn't. It's not a Twilight Zone. I wish it was.
They live forever in plastic.
Some fun facts about this film. James Spader's in this movie. He plays an evil store manager.
Excellent.
He's also a spy. He's like the evil store manager for the main department store, and then a spy for the other department store. Kim Cattrall's character hints in this film that this isn't the first time she's come to life since Egypt, and she tells Jonathan he reminds her of her old boyfriend Chris. I told him the world was round and I never saw him again. So this film alludes to that she
Can I ask a question?
No.
Yeah, no, you can.
Was she plastic when she met
That's the
Christopher
thing
Columbus?
that doesn't make sense.
Is this sci-fi? Was there a technology?
It doesn't make any sense. She embodied a barrel? Like, what was on his ship? Like, how did he... what did she
Maybe it was
embody?
The masthead of the ship.
He was like, this masthead looks a
I
lot
get
like
that.
Kim
That's highly
Cattrall.
erotic.
Can I ask really quick, just
You
to
can.
go back, what does ancient Egypt have to do with it?
It doesn't at all. It doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yes.
But Kim Cattrall was back in Egypt.
Yep, she was from ancient Egypt.
Does she speak Egyptian?
She does not at all. She speaks
She's learned.
fluent American.
Great.
Fluent American?
Yeah.
I don't think she does anything specifically like, old ancient Egypt, we used to do this.
Yeah.
And guys, the last thing I would like to share is, I know you were all wondering, as this was a 1980s film, and yes, there is a dance scene
Yes.
in the
Yes.
department store
Yes.
where they try on different
Yes.
outfits to classic 80s music.
Who does? The two of them?
The two of them tried on. It is actually
I
pretty
feel
great.
like that's a form of foreplay that we don't really use much anymore.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, I do, but like as a
That's
nation.
true. I need to start bringing it into my life more of just turning on old 80s music and just
Trying
throwing
a bunch
on
of silly hats with your partner.
hats and trench coats and like pretend I'm in like a Michael Jackson movie.
Yeah.
Or
Stop!
like,
I'm getting a little hot and
Wow,
bothered.
Getting
it's
a
getting
little
really
emotional
uncomfortable
right
now? Well, I
here.
have to say,
in the,
Thank God for
in the
Mannequin
room.
for giving me that idea.
I'm so
Thank you,
so
Mannequin.
happy that you
Yeah.
chose Mannequin.
yeah, it's just a simple 1980s film about a white Egyptian woman who was granted immortality and came to life in a department store.
I just love
In the
that I
1980s.
knew
In
all of these
Philadelphia.
things
In Philadelphia.
before you said them. Like,
just a normal story. Todd, what is your movie again?
Home Alone.
Oh God.
The beloved 1990 John Hughes film starring Macaulay Culkin and Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern and Catherine O'Hara and all these other great people is the story of the McAllister family who is getting ready to go to a trip to Paris over Christmas and forgets their youngest son named Kevin. And Kevin, who's the main character, is constantly overlooked by his entire family, and he wishes at that night, he does a bunch of things, wrong. He has a bad day, basically, and he wishes in the night that he wishes his family would disappear.
He prays to dark gods and they make it happen. And
Rasputin.
Yeah,
next
to
one-
Rasputin.
There's a electrical failure the next morning, which causes the entire family to be late. And they, in the process, in their haste, they forget Kevin upstairs. When he wakes, he thinks that his wishes come true. And the rest of the movie is what an 8-year-old or however old he is does when he suddenly realizes that he doesn't have any responsibilities or family or anything to deal with over Christmas. But then also is attacked by two burglars. Two burglars who have been casing the entire neighborhood, played by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern.
You think the burglars would avoid the houses that have people in it, but these burglars are dedicated.
So the rest of the movie becomes this sort of cartoonish cat and mouse game between the burglars and this small child who, through various Rube Goldberg-like designs, cartoonishly disposes of these two idiot burglars. Kevin learns the true meaning of what Christmas means and to appreciate his family family once again because he didn't know what he had until it was gone.
Yeah, and apparently his parents didn't either until they got on that plane or whatever it was.
Some facts about the film: it actually was for a long time until 2011 the highest grossing comedy of all time.
Seriously?
Until The Hangover Part 2.
Wow.
No.
But it was the highest grossing worldwide comedy of all time.
Hangover
No,
Part
the
2
first part
dethroned
makes
it?
sense. The second part makes no sense.
So much so that William Goldman, famed screenwriter extraordinaire William Goldman,
Killed himself when Hangover 2 beat them out. Wow.
No,
Terrible. Sad story.
Had a saying, coined a phrase, a verb in Hollywood called to be home alone is to have a movie like Home Alone beat out your big Oscar, movie or something that's supposed to win the box office that weekend or something, which I think is continued in these like movies like Happy Feet beat out like Lord of the Rings or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like there's just a bigger audience for those 4-quadrant movies.
Well, Lord of the Rings didn't anticipate that everybody loves penguins.
Right,
That's
I
what they
guess.
just didn't take into account.
Yeah.
Like if they put a penguin in that movie, they would have had that whole weekend.
Maybe they would have captured
Fun
the
fact,
box office.
Tolkien hated penguins.
Whoa!
Wait,
J.R.R. Tolkien.
told
So
me.
he wrote an expanded book called The Silmarillion. At least 1,500 of those pages were dedicated to penguin dismemberment and death, and
They've been
it's-
censored since.
so how, in God's name, in Hotep's name, are we supposed
You
to...
guys, I mean, I just want to contribute some Egypt stuff to this.
Oh, please.
I think you have to start.
I mean, we
in
got to
Egypt.
bring our
So is
Egypt
this-
game strong.
Is
to
the
this
cold open
smash
in
up.
Egypt?
I think the
is that
cold
where we
open
are?
has to be in Egypt.
Yeah.
It is along the Nile River.
Okay.
As Sobek, the ancient crocodile goddess of Egypt,
Great.
Ooh.
looks down.
Someone's gonna have some info for their book report tomorrow.
Indeed. Looks down whilst holding the Egyptian Book of the Dead
All right.
and summoning the spirits that built Pharaoh Khufu's pyramid,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is a famous grain silo.
Go on, we're
as
following.
as Ben Carson has pointed out to us recently. Ben Carson sits watching
that's Dr. Ben Carson.
Dr. Ben Carson sits
A time traveler, a known time traveler.
a known time traveler making papyrus rafts by the River Nile,
Hanging out with Khufu.
hanging out with Khufu, who
Where
has
am
long
I?
been dead but is now being summoned by the Book of the Dead
By
Sobek, the crocodile goddess.
Of course. There's a lot of layers to this opening scene.
You're rounded out.
The,
You're there.
As-
the Star Wars level crawl for this opening.
You're there. Rounded out. We're
Yeah, let's-
rounding third.
Yeah, we're almost there.
This happens. A white woman
White.
walks past and accidentally gets zapped by Sobek's laser rays and is made into the very first plastic ever recorded in history.
Whoa.
Oh.
Was in ancient times by fusing papyrus and Ben Carson's saliva. This is a really little known scientific fact, but check the website. There's research, and she becomes a mannequin. So
I had it,
Kevin
I was there.
McAllister's dad is an archaeologist, and he's on a dig, and he finds this plastic creature, but nobody believes
That this is
plastic
ancient.
mannequin is ancient, and he can't prove that it's Ben Carson's saliva because the DNA testing in the 90s was like not that advanced.
That's true. So Ben
Dad.
Carson is the primary villain of this film. Is that what we're positive?
Time traveling.
A time traveling villain.
Time-traveling Dr. Ben Carson,
Ben Carson.
is
At a
is the
certain point,
villain
and
of the
for
movie.
anyone that
Played
doesn't...
by James Spader.
Oh, perfect. In blackface.
That's gonna be a directorial choice. I am not going to have any say on
Some other director.
This is a whitewashed movie, except it is
It's
a
what's gonna
whitewashed in
guard-
blackface. You know.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say just James Spader. He can just put the glasses on.
Is
So,
that better?
I don't think that's better.
Okay.
That's
well,
why,
it's
you
just
know.
Kim Cattrall is Egyptian, like James Spader is black.
That's
so-
why no one remembers
true.
this movie.
Are you
I
sure that no one
remember
remembers
this
this movie? Or everyone remembers
I
this
remember
movie?
Brian McAllister, famed Egyptologist,
Yes.
Nice.
gets discredited by his community by claiming that ancient Egyptian plastics are real.
Yes.
So he goes home from Egypt to Chicago with his family. It is Christmas time, and he decides he has this plastic thing. What is he gonna do?
He's studying it.
He's gonna give it to his reject son.
In fact, we his rejects. son.
He bought real presents for all the kids, and then
Son,
couldn't
you're
afford
like
it.
you're so shitty. Here, just have this
He's got a
mannequin.
bastard son. One of the McAllisters is just
Have this
like a
artifact.
bastard.
So I will say also that the old hieroglyphics that they see where they're all in that pose, that's actually just the pose that she took, and they use that mannequin in almost every framing. They were like,
So
how are we going to
true.
get... So like that's why,
She's the only model.
Yeah, Egyptologists
every
have just been
hieroglyphic
confused.
was-
Yeah,
yeah.
every hieroglyphic, they're always doing that. The one hand up, the one hand behind, and they're like, this is just how they all walked
So
around. and it's
instead
just-
of
it's
walk
just
like an
complete
Egyptian, it
misconception.
should
Yeah.
have been walk like a Kim Cattrall.
Yeah.
So Kevin McAllister's Egyptologist father
Brian McAllister.
brings the plastic mannequin that he believes is like the key to understanding the past or whatever
But
of
I think that
Egyptians
maybe at this
home
point he
to
believes
his
the
family.
community, and he's all sad and does a sad Charlie Brown walk, and is like, "I'm a fraud," just puts it here, like.
Oh, we'll put Christmas lights on it or
Discards
whatever.
it.
Maybe he thinks
Nothing.
he's gone crazy a little
Yeah,
bit, right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
as you would.
But
I
who
mean,
but who picks up the passion for this?
little Kevin.
Little Kevin.
I think he almost like talks to it to like make fun of like his family. Like his family already, he's like the black sheep of the family,
Right,
right?
right.
He like kind of leans into it more. You know how kids, like, if they're like, don't touch that button, the kids will push and touch that button as much as possible. So the dad's like, don't mess with this mannequin. Kevin will comically bring the mannequin to like the kitchen table and like talk to it and like have like it in the room waiting for his parents to come in and have like conversations with it. And he starts to bring the magic of Sobek back, because unlike having one of his cousins has a pet tarantula, his cousin has a pet crocodile in a terrarium in his room. And it is through the magic of the pet crocodile being in such a close proximity to the Kim Cattrall mannequin.
And Kevin's love, of course.
And Kevin's love, of course. The combo together, because Kevin's love is a lot like Ben Carson's saliva.
Oh, yeah.
It is
Very
strong
potent.
and
Very
potent.
potent.
That perfect combination together, it will bring Kim Cattrall back
So-
to life.
Now, I think that the kid goes to sleep and he's like, man, I hate my family. I wish that you were real and they weren't.
There you go. Yeah, I wish that
That's
I wish
great.
that they would just disappear and you would be the only
And
family
you
that
were
I
the
ever
family
had.
I
And
had.
he
Yeah,
says this in front of the Sobek totem that is the crocodile in the terrarium.
Right, so then he
Right.
goes to sleep, he kisses the mannequin, good night, and goes to sleep, and then just like, and just Egyptian
Yeah.
shit starts happening.
Yeah.
That was-
There's
Dude,
this electrical
so
storm.
much Egyptian shit happens.
Yeah, there's like an electrical storm, and I guess they just completely just disappear. Maybe they go to ancient Egypt or something. Yeah, I think they fall through a time warp and go
Okay,
to
so,
the entire McAllister
okay.
family
Because
is in
this
This is
a
all
redemption
starting to make a
story
lot
for
more sense.
Brian McAllister,
Yeah.
Right,
and
right.
him going to ancient Egypt.
Brian McAllister is going to finally... There we go.
Ah.
Brian McAllister is going to start validating everything he was saying from before.
Indeed.
So Kevin wakes up, and I
His
think
family is gone.
His family's gone. So is the mannequin. And I think what happens is he starts smelling pancakes from downstairs.
Yeah.
And he goes downstairs.
Classic Egyptian dish.
And he goes downstairs, and the mannequin Sobek is a real live woman played by Kim Cattrall.
And her name is going to be Sobek?
Yeah, Sobek.
Sure, sure.
And she is making pancakes, and is just like, "Well, Kevin, like, what would you like to do today?" And I think that's when he has his double face slap.
Yeah, Todd, you couldn't see it, obviously, but Todd put both one hand on the right side of his face and one hand on the left side of his face, almost like he was surprised. It's a very interesting gesture you made, but...
He did the
Original.
Macaulay Culkin.
yes, the Macaulay Culkin face. I would like to retcon one thing.
Yeah.
Brian McAllister is a divorced parent. Okay,
Yes.
I'm retconning this. So
All
Brian
right.
McAllister. So through his adventures of like trying to seek out the truth of this mannequin, the truth of like original plastic starting in Egypt, he like grew distant from his wife,
Right.
and they divorced,
Right.
and like she left him with Kevin because he's this little shit and nobody wanted him.
Absolutely.
So like he's kind of saddled with Kevin, and
And that's why the family doesn't get along very well. So when they get together for
it's
like
very
Christmas,
awkward.
it's very tense.
awkward and very tense.
Yeah.
So this is the backdrop of this story, that Brian McAllister has just been labored. His entire life has been over this mannequin.
Right.
And it just hasn't been validated by anyone. So we return. So Kevin has found this mannequin, Kim Cattrall, Sobek.
She is alive.
She is alive
You
and
know,
well.
At least I think maybe he sees her as being alive. Maybe towards other people, she
Oh, no, no.
appears as a mannequin.
She's definitely still a mannequin.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
he's got the magic in him.
right.
Yeah. She starts like just telling him all this stuff about like Egypt, and Kevin for years has just not given a shit about like what his dad does.
Oh, yeah.
But she starts like teaching him about like Egyptian stuff, and of course like the writers of this movie got like Egyptian stuff like all terribly wrong. Like they looked up like a few things, and they were like, yeah, like they were big into baseball.
They were white.
They were all white. They all spoke with British accents like anybody from a historical film.
It was basically just Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Yeah, it was Exodus, Gods and Kings. So while all this is going on and she's like having these great like teaching lessons and Kevin's like starting to feel like, maybe my dad isn't such a jerk and maybe he's just been saddled with like terrible like put upon from his community.
Yeah.
Ben Carson.
The evil Dr. Ben Carson.
Dr. Ben Carson.
Time traveler
learns there's
extraordinaire.
like a disturbance in the time travel continuum, right?
Yes, right.
And also, he owns a department store.
Excellent.
Sure. I mean, Ben Carson, he's got money in a lot of places. He's,
Maybe in modern day Chicago, he owns a department store.
Yes, as a front for his time travel.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because you need one of those for time traveling.
And like he's in the back like restocking because Ben Carson takes personal care. He's on the floor.
He's Six Sigma. He does all the work.
He does all the work. I mean, Ben Carson's on top. He's on the bottom. He's a man of the people. So Ben Carson's in there restocking, and he just gets this overwhelming sense, and he checks this box on his side, and it's beeping, and it turns from green to red. And as we all know, red is just the movie symbol for bad.
Yeah, his timey sense.
His timey sense. He's like, she's back. And then we cut back to Kevin he's in Chicago, right?
Oh yeah.
They're in Chicago. Yeah. And they're doing like
Fun and
hieroglyphics.
games, hijinks,
like a little montage of her like, I don't know, making a snowman.
Oh yeah.
Baking cookies.
And then they're
the
like
snowman's arms are in the Egyptian pose.
Maybe his dad was
Watching the film, the Angels with Dirty Faces film.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Kevin never really had a real Christmas because he was either in Egypt or his dad was
Oh
in
my
Egypt.
God, this isn't
a real Christmas.
Guys, this is an Egyptian Christmas.
The Egyptian Christmas movie.
The Egyptian
we never
Christmas.
knew.
So they trim the tree to look like a pyramid.
Yeah,
like they take
right.
it, they trim it so that it
so good.
so it looks like a perfect four-sided
Meanwhile,
pyramid.
to everyone else, it's Kevin talking to a plastic doll
Yes.
in the
Yeah, she
lawn.
paints the Egyptian, eyeliner on him. Like they start worshiping Ra and everything. Traditional,
Absolutely.
traditional
Usual Egyptian Christmas.
Kevin starts wearing a headdress.
Oh yeah, but Ben Carson gets on the scene, right?
Doctor
Ben Carson, played by James Spader
in blackface.
We have to acknowledge that this is James Spader in blackface.
Yeah.
But we know, and he's made it very clear, I'm going to get her in a few days. So instead of a standard, I'm going to build elaborate traps via paint cans and things, Kim Cattrall, because from being from ancient Egypt, knows how to create Egyptian temple death traps.
Booby traps.
So these are not your normal level booby traps. These are Egyptian
death traps.
temple death traps.
Yeah.
So I think Ben Carson, who's on his side? He's got to have the FBI.
I think
he's got to have a temporal time agency behind him.
His two agents that he hires are
Oh yes,
Joe Pesci and
Daniel Stern.
And he sends them over to the house.
Meanwhile, Dr. Ben Carson himself, having sent his lackeys to dispense with Sobek and little Kevin, has actually gone back in time
to make sure that that's still
to
okay.
Egypt, to ancient Egypt, to find the McAllisters. Okay.
Yes.
Meanwhile, so the McAllisters are in ancient Egypt, not knowing what the fuck is going on.
Oh, not at all.
They are
Luckily,
freaking
Brian
out.
speaks Egyptian.
And
Right,
Brian's
right.
actually having the time of his life. And
Yeah.
actually, I feel like this is the first time also for Brian that his family starts to feel thank
Right.
God you know this shit because
Yeah.
we would be screwed.
All
respecting
except
him.
for his ex-wife, who is
that's
who
right.
is a
She's gonna be
complete
there.
Catherine O'Hara plays a bit of a villain role in this movie.
Yeah.
She's actually a complete C-word. She's terrible.
Yeah, let's not use it. This is a PG film, Todd.
And I think eventually the evil Catherine O'Hara ex-wife and Ben Carson
Yes.
Are going to team up.
are going to team up against the McAllister family.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dr. Ben Carson sees just his Cleopatra.
Because Ben Carson is the accomplished version of Brian McAllister.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because this is the guy who's
True.
arrived,
Can I
right?
ask a question, though? What does Dr. Ben Carson want with Kim Cattrall? Is he trying to destroy her?
I think he's trying. He knows that this is an important thing that needs to be kept hidden. Ben Carson is a master of
He's cleanup.
I think
Yeah,
and
he's a master of
responsible-
space and time.
And he's also responsible for it because of his accidental loogie that got into
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what?
Right.
Since he's big into the history community, right? And it's a big no-no in the history community to screw up anything in history.
God.
And I mean,
Sound of Thunder.
this is quite literally a stepping on a butterfly
Exactly.
in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
Yeah.
got out that Ben Carson did this, it could affect infect all of
Time-traveling Dr. Ben Carson spit on the Nile and created
the first mannequin, the first
plastic mannequin.
And affected all the hieroglyphics. I mean, this is a huge impact.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
And he's been chasing this Kim Cattrall
throughout history.
Indeed.
You know, I think he does it through department stores throughout history.
He hides her in
Looking for
department stores.
No, he
mannequins.
puts department stores throughout history to like see if maybe she'll like come into that
into
time
that
period.
That's actually
yeah.
really smart.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And so-
it makes perfect sense.
He's a-
that Ben Carson.
Not only is he a time
Has
traveler,
been
he's a
opening
department store
ancient-
manager and conglomerate. Yeah, tycoon.
He's been known by many names: Macy, Nordstrom, Penny.
Bloomingdale.
Marshall.
Whoa. Guys, we have blown the lid off of the department store conspiracy on this podcast.
It goes.
We already know too
It goes
much.
straight to the top.
It's straight
So
to the
deep.
top, and it's all the same guy.
It's all Ben Carson.
Meanwhile, Brian McAllister is taking on somewhat of a Indiana Jones type role.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's leading his family to like learn all these things. They finally realize that he in fact was
Ironically-
correct in that plastics do exist in the past. You know.
Ironically, how he was dressed, it was Christmas morning when all of this happened, and someone got him a leather jacket and was like, guys. And so when he went back in time, he was wearing the Indiana Jones outfit. And they're like,
Right.
This is ridiculous, but okay.
I think they were making fun of him by one person got him a leather
they were
jacket,
like,
one person
"Guys."
got him a whip and a hat, and he's
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh fuck you guys," you know.
You know, we're going to pay it off. Like, it starts off as a joke, but by the end of the film, he uses all three of them.
Absolutely.
Very importantly.
Yeah.
Like, he
I
is
agree.
whipping or swinging on a thing.
So what's he doing there? Is he solving puzzles or is he?
So Sebek has taken physical form as Kim Cattrall. She looks just
Right.
like Kim Cattrall and is helping Brian McAllister try to get back to the future.
Meanwhile, back in Chicago,
So they've set up like all these traps.
Oh, yeah.
So and these are traps meant to murder. There's like a sand pit. There's spikes that come out of the floor.
They have-
Poison darts coming
Poison
out of the
darts
wall.
shoot out of the
Ty
walls.
Peddington would have a field day with this house that they have remodeled.
So the wet bandits that come in here, like these are like wet work time professionals. Like these guys are badasses.
Oh, they're not idiots?
They're not complete idiots.
Okay.
And I think eventually the traps will succumb to said Egyptian traps. So what's the trap that gets them?
Kevin shoots them in the face. Just kidding.
Kevin pulls out
Welcome
a shotgun.
to the 21st century. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So the McAllisters are going to return to a bloodbath home.
Right. But meanwhile, Kevin is starting to kind of miss his family.
He is.
Because even though this has been a great Christmas, it hasn't been a Christmas with his family.
Yeah, and especially with his dad. He's
And his-
starting to, after learning more about like Egypt and like all these cool traps they made
Absolutely.
and like, killing those two guys, he's really understanding.
After double homicide.
You know who would love this?
Yeah.
You know who would love this?
Dad
My
would love
father.
this.
My father loves double homicide. Yeah, he starts to wish that maybe...
You know what I think it is? The
didn't make
opposite
that
of
wish.
saliva is tears. And I think the tears, Kim Cattrall is there, like, holding him, and the tear, like, falls on, like, her shoulder as they're embracing and
Right,
hugging.
right.
And, like, the magic hits her magic plasticky skin, and it rips this hole in time.
Totally.
It pulls the McAllisters back to the future.
The only unfortunate part is that actually Kim Cattrall has vanished because of this time portal has made her disappear. Kevin McAllister was like, she really made me understand the beauty of Christmas and brought me closer to you, Dad. And then they all go to sleep. And then the next morning...
Brian McAllister comes to his son. He's like, "Come on, Kevin, let's go down. It's Christmas." And he's like, "I don't know. It just doesn't feel like Christmas without Academy
all
Award
the-
winner
Without
Kim
her.
Cattrall."
The Academy Award winner Kim Cattrall with all the death traps and the murder.
She taught me so much.
I know.
And then
I miss her too,
and then Kevin
son.
says, "What's that smell?"
And then like the music happens, and they kind of like
And
they run down the stairs.
And who's waiting there?
It's Academy Award winner Kim Cattrall making pancakes in a traditional Egyptian garb with an ugly Christmas sweater over it to symbolize that she's now the fusion
Right.
of the two cultures.
Okay, so what is the name of this
Yeah, what is the
movie?
fuck is the title of his...
Hold on, wait a second.
Egyptmas.
Egyptmas? Egyptmas? I think it can just be called Egyptmas. I think it's
Standalone.
I think it's just Egyptmas.
Yeah.
What is the poster of this film? So I think it's got to be a house with like a pyramid behind
Yeah,
it.
pyramid house, people just like popping in the background, and I think it's just like an evil Dr. Ben Carson played by, blackface James Spader.
Yep.
Kim Cattrall's
Academy
like crossing,
Award winning
Yeah.
James Spader.
Academy Award winning Kim Cattrall. Is
Yeah, it'll say it
crossing
on
her
each
arms
under their
and
each of their
leaning
names.
against something.
Right, crossing her arms and
Can
leaning
you
against
believe
something. something, but with an ankh.
Yeah, she'll have. Oh yes, her arms will be crossed like a mummy.
Yes,
Job, Todd.
Very nice.
Ryan McAllister is like swinging from something in
Right.
Indiana Jones.
He's got the
thing.
whip. He's got
Right,
the whole
right.
Indiana
Yeah.
Jones outfit.
And the tagline is going to be what? Like, this Christmas.
It's Christmas,
think
5,000
that's it.
years in the making.
Wow. Guys, that was our smash up. And that'll take us into our game, the old family favorite. Marry, fuck, kill.
Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck,
Kill.
All right, guys, this is the time that it's everybody's favorite part of the hour.
Yeah.
Where we play Marry, Fuck, Kill.
Yay.
So,
And what is this game?
This is a great game. Both the guys are going to choose 3 movies, and we all have to decide which movie we'd marry, which movie we would fuck, and which movie we would kill.
Gosh, we don't even have to.
We don't have to do anything.
We shouldn't even do this.
We
anymore.
should just be silent.
All right,
Yeah.
Casey, you ready to?
Let's kill them.
Yeah, you guys are
and take
taking over
the
from
podcast.
now. All right, Todd, what are our 3 movies?
So I've chosen 3 films that go under the title of unconventional Christmas movies.
Ooh.
So we have Gremlins, the Christmas classic.
Sure.
Die
very
Hard,
conventional.
the other Christmas classic.
All right.
And one that I actually had forgotten had anything to do with Christmas, Edward Scissorhands.
Okay. Anne-Marie, you have your picks. What are
Yeah.
yours?
Go for it.
I would fuck Die Hard.
Said with
love the way you said that.
said with such emphasis.
Yeah.
Love it.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, for obvious reasons. Just,
Yeah.
just a very virile movie, I think.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I would marry Edward Scissorhands.
Oh,
Because
wow.
magic and whimsy and
Free haircuts forever.
free haircuts
really.
forever and snow and stuff and tragic love.
And
which I
neon
think is-
houses.
And living in a hellish
And
nightmare
Diane
of a...
Weiss, who I feel like needs to be part of my relationship in some way, if she
Diane
can.
Weiss.
And then kill Gremlins, because when is after midnight? Because it's always after somebody's midnight.
Great point.
You know what I mean?
Great
That's
point.
the classic.
Like,
It's
when
midnight
does
somewhere.
When does after midnight end? Is it like 7 a.m.? Was it sunrise?
Yeah, do
It's never
Gremlins work off of
explained.
Eastern Standard
I
or
don't
Pacific
know.
or
Greenwich Standard
But I
Time.
get it. Like, if it's in your time zone, let's say that's. I'll just take it. Like, so I feed my gremlin at 12. and
Well,
he
here's the
becomes
thing. When you
gremlin.
get a gremlin, you have to set them to your time zone. Because you set
Yeah,
them to
you-
another time zone,
But,
it's
set
going
your
to
when I
real
feed
mess them
him
up.
breakfast, it's still after midnight. It's the same day.
That's
right?
true.
12 a.m.
You know what?
on
He
a
should have
Saturday,
specified. He was
5
like,
a.m.
not after midnight, but you can do it after like 5. I mean, that's reasonable. Just don't feed him
All
between
I
midnight
needed
and
was, like,
5.
one
Do
line
not-
of explanation.
Do not feed him between the hours of midnight and 1 a.m. Yeah.
Casey, do you have yours?
Mine are actually the exact same. I've never seen Gremlins.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah, 'cause
probably
you had
a reason why you
terrible
would commit
Canadian
murder.
childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely fuck Die Hard because it's just such a great journey.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
Oh,
of a
yeah.
movie, you know?
And you just want to fuck that journey, you know?
You just want to have a good beginning, middle, end. Everything's cohesive, like.
Yeah, it's
and-
very exciting.
And then Edward Scissorhands for the same reasons. It's like romantic. There's magic.
Like, how do those scissors work? What's going on with his fingers? Like, how are they
It's-
opening and closing?
it
Like, I
seems
want to
like
know.
a movie I would want to have around for a long time.
Okay, so Todd, do you have your picks?
I do actually. I think I would marry rather than fuck Die Hard because
Bold
that's
choice.
just the greatest movie ever, and I love the badassery of that movie. But the thing that I love most about the movie is the romantic subplot of John McClane, sorry, POW survivor John McClane.
Is it a story
Academy
about-
Award
Did I
winner
miss
John
the part
McClane.
where John McCain took down a bunch of terrorists in the Nakatomi building?
Yes,
Actually, he probably did do
He might have done
You know what?
something
He
like
probably
that.
did.
It's
He
probably,
probably did.
redacted, but yeah, it's
Right.
probably happened.
Yeah.
he's a hero. I just love the story of McClane and Gennaro, Holly Gennaro and John McClane. I think is a really sweet love story, and that's the kind of marriage I would like. It gets rough. Sometimes you have to dispense with a bunch of German terrorists, but in the end,
Yeah.
you get to punch a annoying journalist in the face and ride home with your wife in a limo that stayed in the garage for the entirety of the
Hey,
movie.
that limo driver was dedicated. All right. I mean, I think he tried to leave, but
What's that guy's
he
name
realized
again?
he was trapped,
Steve.
I don't know.
Oh, he's such a great character.
We'll
His
never
name
know.
is
No one will ever know. Don't look it up. Don't.
Seabach or
I think it was Academy Award winner Kim Cattrall.
then I would actually fuck Phoebe Cates. I mean, Gremlins.
Wait, real quick. Phoebe Cates or the Gremlins?
Phoebe Cates.
I feel like you have to, if you, like one comes with the other.
Yeah. And I guess that means that I'm going to have to kill Edward Scissorhands. Because you know why? The movie kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like, the scissors, I don't like knives, so scissors really freak me out.
And that guy's got knives all over his fingers.
Don't even get me started. That, like, the scene where he saves the kid and he cuts up the kid's face, like, terrifies me.
Whoa! I don't remember that.
The kid's going to get run over by a car and he goes across the street and, like pushes him out of the way. And then he's like, I'm sorry, are you okay? Okay. And he, like...
Oh, that's right.
And then they turn on him.
That scene freaks me out. And also that town freaks me out because it's this weird Stepford Wives kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to have anything to do with that. I don't want to fuck that. I don't want to marry it. It creeps me out. You know, old man living on the top of a hill, creating scissor hand like mannequin creations, you know? No.
I would actually also kill Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to start off with murder. I'm going to move...
As every good
good
does,
sexual and relationships should move. So start off with murder to get things
the
going.
necrophiliacs code? Or?
What? So kill Edward Scissorhands for probably similar reasons. For me, like, I get the magic of the movie. And I mean, geez, Tim Burton, such a sexual Tyrannosaurus, that man. But
you know what just came into my head? Instead of T-Rex, T-sex.
Wait a second. A sexual Tyrannosaurus? This is a thing that I've never been using my whole life.
Baby, you're a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
You're a sex T-Rex.
I've given you a gift, and now
You really have.
You've got giant
Share it.
The sex
Share it.
giant
All of you.
legs and little arms, and
Yeah.
I love your chompers.
I just don't connect well enough with Edward Scissorhands. So next I'm going to move to, I would also fuck Gremlins. Now, the reason is because I think it perfectly mirrors a good sexual relationship. Now, you don't want to involve food with your sex life. It's gonna make things real weird, real cramped, real gassy.
You don't want to take any pictures.
Don't want to take any pictures.
Because those are going to end up on the internet.
Those are going to end up somewhere, guys. Also, I get all my fun times from weird mystery shops.
Right. Be
Gremlins.
careful. You know, the woman is like a mogwai.
I feel like that's your new
Make sure
pickup
you're
line.
careful.
Baby, I know how to treat a lady, just like a mogwai. I'm not going to feed you after midnight. I'm going to take care of you in case you destroy my
Baby,
town.
I'm going to take care of you until about 11:59, and then I'm fucking out of here. Die Hard, I would marry it. Because, I mean, why? Who wouldn't want to Who wouldn't want to live in that Nakatomi building forever? I mean...
Wow.
It's an exciting movie. I mean, the guy's got friends, right? He's got friends.
Who doesn't need
really good
who doesn't
friends?
want friends? Yeah.
He's got antagonists like we all do in life.
Exactly.
He's got a marriage on the rocks, but he's working it out.
He's got
through a lot of violence and shooting Russians.
He's got
Russians, Germans.
Right. He's got bare toes on carpet.
He's got bare toes on carpet. Which how I like to live my life.
Absolutely.
And I mean, there's a lot
philosophy.
There's a lot of good lessons to take away from Die Hard.
Oh yeah.
So guys, I think those are our marry, fuck, kills.
All right.
I think unanimously we would all in some way marry and or fuck Die Hard because really you can't kill it. A lot of people have tried to kill John McClane.
Yeah, it can't happen.
And even now, I think society would like to at this point, but they would.
Yeah.
Hollywood is just going to keep putting those out. So
It doesn't go down.
Maybe
Okay.
only Dr. Ben Carson could save
maybe
us.
only Ben Carson can stop him.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for coming back
Yay.
for some smashing.
All right.
Thanks for listening. I hope you learned a lot about ancient Egypt and the perils of time travel. And if you're enjoying the show and you've got a second or two, a quick rating or review on iTunes would be amazing. Or if you share the show with a friend. Either way, we really appreciate your support. And as always, we'll be posting a new episode every other week. And if you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com. That's arc with a C. Of course, you can email us any questions or movie suggestions at blockbustersmashup@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at partialarc. If you'd like to hear more from Anna Marie Davidson, follow her on Twitter at writer Anna Marie. And if you want to follow up with Casey Leventhal, you can do that on Instagram at CaseyIsCool. And be sure to follow Todd on Twitter and Instagram at TG11. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode of Blockbuster Smash Up.
Let's go home.